Hey Kingston, welcome back. Today we have a 3v3 NTW3 battle. We have 3 Prussians taking on Wurttemberg and 2 French. Now I believe these are some cores, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, on the Prussian side at least. But we have a 10-point Italy and 11-point France, both French of course, and then 6-point Wurttemberg going against, and I looked this up, so if the page is wrong, then whatever. Calquert is Calquert, something like that. Actually did several battles. Ostend, he defended Leipzig against a French marshal. Did very good job with the battles that he was in, minus of course losing at Ostend. Of course he's being joined by Brunswick and where's the other one? Wurttemberg. So this is going to be really awesome. I have actually taken a special interest in Prussia recently, so I'm very excited to see this battle, see what they can do against the French. Prussia is in my opinion, you guys can disagree, I don't, it's everyone's at different skill levels. At my skill level, Prussia is a bit of a challenge for me still, trying to master the cav for them. So as you can see over here, we have a horse artillery 6-pounder, as well as some cuirassiers, 3 of them actually, and a hussar and the general nearby. That is how you want to have cav engagements roll. You want your general nearby. You can see they have Eugene von Wurttemberg sitting over here, going to take on the hussars of France. You do have some dragoons and more dragoons, and then cuirassiers as well, pushing up this field, supporting their musketeers. A massive Prussian cuirassier force. I was about to call them a blob, and it's not really a blob. They're kind of sitting over here looking at these. Oh, I hear a charge. We got some dragoons taking on some lancers here, taking the initiative. Prussia taking this initiative. It also looks like maybe pushing up with some dragoons, and France maybe is going to start falling back here. It looks like they actually don't have the decent cav yet. Their cuirassiers being way back here. Wurttemberg has some Grenadier Guard, cav. So at this point, I think the French actually got to disengage and fell back. This fence is going to wreak havoc with any cav battles that do start up here. These hussars still engaging with the dragoons. I think they're trying to get themselves out of here, though. Prussia being very aggressive. Very good to see them seizing the initiative, and now Wurttemberg has some chevaliers that are going to attack them. And dragoons going to go back. We also have cuirassiers pouring through these fence. And the cuirassiers and dragoons of Prussia are going to fall back here. France now advancing. Italy, France advancing down this road with some of their chasseurs and grenadiers. Gonna disengage here and actually maybe gonna fight in this field. Looking a little iffy here. Of course, these dragoons are going to hold because there's a general sitting right next to him. But these cuirassiers are getting attacked by 3, maybe 4 cav. So this could turn ugly very fast, as there's also a square here. Now we do have more cuirassiers and another general moving up this way. So Prussia, I don't think, is going to want to... We have a general getting charged by those lancers. So, very risky here. France also pushing up infantry. Prussia's going to now move their masses. Generals yelling, "Why did you set up the cav without infantry support?" That whole thing. For those of you who have seen Waterloo. So actually, both sides are now disengaged. This cav battle, I think it's the terrain that's really messing with any decisive charges, but you can see, guys, everything is focusing in this one little area. 3v3, 4v4s are my favorites, definitely. Just enough troops on the battlefield to make it dependent on your ally. And 2v2s, you can kind of take them on someone by yourself. Of course, if you get, ganged upon by both of them and your allies on the other side of the map, it's a problem. You see Prussia actually pushing up here. Got their fusiliers engaging the French lines here. I love, look at this, they have green and then like the brown and tan. It looks so good. Granted, of course, I love the blue and the black that Prussia can bring with their uniforms here. But some more Saxon green and yellow. Man, look at these guys. You'll see the green very often with Prussia. Oh, I'm missing a cav engagement. Gosh dang it. So Wurttemberg taken on, they sent in some, howitzers. Okay, so Prussia just pushed over, took the howitzers, and took out the Chevaliers that were guarding them. So Wurttemberg now lost their artillery, probably trying to sneak them into the woods and just leave them there. France has taken, look at this position though. They have taken the fence line, have artillery set up in one of the gaps, excellent position, and now I think they're actually going to start falling back. So France looking pretty good with the defensive line now. Excuse me. Where's the other French player? Because I only see 2 out of the 3 French players, and I see all of Prussia. Prussia actually is pushing just down this road here, making it tough for Prussia to advance. Prussia's going to have to play very hard here if they want to take this strong defensive position. And like I said, France is... There's another French army. Maybe it's way... Okay, I think it's way up here on the road. Way over here. So they can use that to their advantage. Oh no, Italy's sitting right there. What? The general's way over... No, that's it. I'm so confused now. So Italy's here, and 11-point France is here. So everyone is here. This France must be bringing a small army. They must be bringing a small army.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
This is going to be a very decisive flank. I am expecting Prussia pushing against Wurttemberg. They are putting up, let's see, they have some guard and then some musketeers here. They have their combat general in the front lines to bolster morale. They got some 6-pounders moving up here. And then some more musketeers, more artillery sitting on the flank. And they're going to start flattening this line over here. I mean, I love this. I don't even have to move anywhere. Just got to pivot back and forth, you know? So Prussia's going to have more infantry on the side. They can even double stack their lines if they need to and just get that morale boost so they can stand in a line battle like these guys are doing, like so. And looks like we actually have some people pushing on the flank here. I have to make sure I'm not going to cop. Although France looks like they have some artillery sitting back here. Let's see, what do they have? 12-pounders, 2 12-pounders in the woods. This is good and bad. I'd say this is more... It's a double-edged sword because they are not going to be very fast in reloading. The forest actually slows the reloading, I do believe. But it's a really cool position. Look at that. Just you're looking into the clearing as Prussia's advancing. It's a very cool looking. Just so beautiful. Anyway, France is definitely seems to be more defensive. It will depend on who has the artillery superiority, excuse me. If Prussia does, then they can force their enemy to attack them. Now, I think they are advancing in this field. The right flank, I would say, is where they are strongest, but they are also setting up their artillery and just kind of forcing Wurttemberg to fall back. In fact, Wurttemberg is kind of splitting up their army a little bit. I would be very cautious in a 3v3, splitting your already smaller army in 2. They're splitting up 3 infantry from their 4 infantry. Prussia could easily coordinate with their allies. I think they have the mass. Honestly, I think they have the numbers to easily win this if they push up now. They just have to make a move quickly. You can see France is already getting a strong defensive position. They have spikes set up. It's going to be very difficult to push these artillery, these 4-pounders out of their position. They have an LOC to kind of help with the supporting fire on either side. They can kind of shoot on the flank. You can see they are shooting these infantry to pieces, and these infantry are going to just, they're really good quality. In fact, they have their grenadiers in the front ranks here, guys. You may want to save these grenadiers so that, you know, you can have them attack the flank. I mean, that's what grenadiers really are for. They're good in melee. In fact, historically, I do believe they were more of not really shooting. They were more like that melee. They were just tough. They had a lot of training, probably a lot of combat hand-to-hand training. But you can see Prussia is pushing up over on this side. You see guys going airborne.
This battle is almost done.
The computer, Napoleon Total War, thinks that Prussia's about to lose and that the battle's almost done. Prussian artillery also moving up here. We have the 6-pounders, 2 of them. These are not the land war. I do believe they're not land war, so they're still slow moving though. But look at this. Instead of the Prussians in the woods, it's the French in the woods. And they are massive units of French infantry. Look at this. Oh my goodness. The ambush has been set. And France is going to easily hold. These are beefy, thick units of infantry. You can see there's even more over here. So Prussia is probably going to fall. Yeah, they're going to fall back. Maybe try skirting around the side. Wurttemberg is now going to be engaging Prussia. You can see Prussia pushing up with their infantry. The artillery actually are moving up too. Oh man, this infantry is just... The French artillery is just wrecking them. Now Prussia is setting up. Hopefully they have pioneers, something that can do stakes. Now this is a double-edged sword as well. You can set up your artillery on the road. I mean, they move faster, maybe even fire faster. I'm not sure about that part. But cav can move faster to get to them. So I don't know. You can tell me what you guys think. I mean, look, are these guys in green uniforms too? Oh no, they're not. They're just very cool looking. But we got some regular volleys going off in the tree line here. And I know I'm not zooming out a ton, but you know, it's a smaller battle. I'm keeping my eye on the mini map to not miss anything. It's nice to be able to zoom in a little bit, get those cool shots from the soldiers' perspectives. This tree line is going to be kind of difficult to see what's going on here, but you can see France is stretched all the way out here, so Prussia are already running into some problems here, but they are actually going to shift all the way out here and try to hit them in the flank. They can use their numbers against the French army. Now here is 4 units of Wurttemberg infantry. They are going to be taking on 2 so far, so Prussia is going to be pushing. Wurttemberg is stretched a little thin. Prussia looks like they're actually shifting over forces from this open area. They're just going to let their artillery with a little cav and infantry support kind of just battle it out. More of an artillery, and they're going to push through the woods. The woods going to be difficult, though, as your men move very slowly in the woods. Infantry, of course, forming up here. I don't know why my computer keeps saying that. It's lagging whenever I go zoom in here. Also, on a side note about laggy computers, I am going to be... Oh, they broke those trilliers. I'm going to be getting a new computer come at the middle of April, guys. So my graphics and everything, just program system, doing so much better. Wurttemberg did send in their grenadiers, their heavies, cuirassiers, taking them on. More Wurttemberg chevaliers rushing in. They should have maybe pulled them in this way and then hit the flank. They do have their general who is going to be inspiring them, but Prussia does have a lot more cav.
Our general is under
attack. If you look in here, it looks like they didn't really get around the flank necessarily. But the chevaliers, the grenadier guard, I think, oh, look at these guys. Oh, that is some really cool looking units. They remind me of the elite, like, grenadier cheval for France. We got some flanking fire from some grenadiers here trying to take out these heavy Wurttemberg cav. On the other side, still just a volley. We do have Prussia taking on the flank. France trying to reform to get them. But this cav battle over here, I'm just bouncing back and forth, could change the course of this battle. But a lot of extra cuirassiers, fresh cuirassier cav, changed places with these cuirassiers so they could... I can't talk. So they could continue this fight. France is moving over more cav here. Wurttemberg is starting to break here. Infantry easily supporting this fight. We do have a more French cav pushing over. At the same time, Prussia is starting to push over on this flank here. They have artillery set up once again, starting to maybe level this playing field, and they're just leveling these small infantry units of Wurttemberg. Once again, just exchanging the cav back and forth for Prussia. And these garde du corps, they should get these guys out of here while they still have them, because Prussia's just going to keep pushing in extra fresh units, and they're going to wear you out. Now, France is going around the flank, so they may get a flanking charge over there. Now, over here, Prussia is still making a very decisive push. France has been forced to shift over even more infantry to meet this attack. Prussia now reforming here, probably because of the cavalry for France. These cuirassiers are nothing to laugh at. You don't scoff at French cav. Unless you're crazy. But now it looks like maybe Prussia is starting to break a little bit here, or at least have some problems. They're actually going to start falling back here. And these carabiners, I think that's what I'm going to go with, are pushing back Prussia's cav. Prussia, I like how they're pulling their cav out, letting them rest. They're not just keeping them committed. These guys are winded, though. They're going to take on maybe a rear charge against this French cav, and this may change,
the men are fatigued, sir, and must
change
rest
the
awhile.
game here. Prussia pushing up with their infantry, taking on Wurttemberg, honestly splitting Wurttemberg, and now pushing on the flank, which is going to force France to actually have to shift over and fight Wurttemberg. Not doing that well against the masses of France. Yeah, Prussia is making a very excellent push over here. They just got to hold the French in place long enough for their allies to do some work. They may not win over here, but they are definitely holding this large French force in the woods. Over here, still pushing, going for the flank, going for the throat here, trying to take out the heavy cav of France. And France has the only ones who have cav left on this flank. And you can see they're actually starting to break them. They just had more cav for this engagement. They have their general now moving up. And France is starting to break here. We do have some cav for Prussia trying to take on Wurttemberg, infantry and cavalry. I think Prussia is actually starting to look pretty good on this flank now. This line battle could go either way still. Wurttemberg has smaller units, but they have probably some good stats with cav supporting them, and they're going for some infantry here. But the heavy cav for Prussia could easily change the scales here. Look at these guys. I'm surprised. This is such a small unit. I feel like this square would just not even work. You know what I mean? I feel like it wouldn't work, but here we go. France is happened to relocate, so they had a strong defensive position, and Prussia's like, you know what? You have a strong defensive position. I agree with that, so I'm just going to flank it. I'm just going to go around and not face you on the wall. Over here in the forest, both sides are not going to take as heavy of damage, but fighting in the forest for sure. This center, France needs to maybe shift over some of their really beefy units. Prussia's not really pushing over here. Prussia is pushing on both flanks here. And you can see that France has managed to pull some of their cav out. And with Wurttemberg, they're going to maybe keep pulling back. Hopefully they can relocate with their ally. But Prussia doesn't seem to be wanting to let that happen. They are just forming up the infantry at their leisure, not letting France get an initiative again. They just keep moving, forcing the French to basically conform to their movements. Over here, Prussia still fighting out. France may be doing something very decisive here. These are grenadiers, though they can form squares, so France may not be able to do a whole lot. They don't have infantry support. So they are going to have some difficulties there. In the forest, let's see. I think Prussia is starting to maybe take some heavier losses. They do have infantry and cav behind this forest fight, though. I'm loving the forest fight. You don't see this very often. And for those of you who like the minimap, I always do this so I can maybe get a thumbnail here real fast. I always put it back on, I promise. So Prussia is going to start pushing up even more so than before. Just not going to let the French form up in a line of battle. Maybe they're going to push up here. I don't know. These infantry have just taken a beating. These grenadiers are just taking a beating, but their artillery are able to fight unopposed. And Prussia has so much cav, they're able to sacrifice some of their dragoons. So now all the Prussian cav victorious is going to start pushing maybe over to this side to take on the French, as this right flank for Prussia, left flank for France is starting to maybe give way to the pressure Prussia over here is not looking so good, so it's almost like a seesaw. One side's winning, one side's not. But Prussia is not losing over here. They just aren't winning. Yes, it's the way to say it. Like, duh, if you're not winning, you're losing. They're doing the job they need to. They are totally taking on 11-point France and really putting the work on them so that they can't do anything. Now, we do have Prussian infantry getting charged here, but they're going to form a square here. Gonna do very well. Man, I kind of have to want to go back and do a screenshot, like screenshot mode for this battle. This one looks very cool. So France and Wurttemberg are starting to just fall, and that is because of the artillery just punching holes in this French line. France not being able to really do much about it. Look at the tricorn hats here. Looks like an exclamation mark on their hat. Ooh. Oh my goodness. The closer the range guys the artillery are, the more death versus knocking back there will be. Now, Prussia just has so much cav. France has lost the cav initiative. Their cav's all over here, and they have not really been able to use it very well. Prussia is starting to really waver and break here. You can see they've lost some units. So France is starting to win over here, but is it going to be soon enough? Because Prussia, as you can see, is making a huge push. Wurttemberg needs to start pushing in this direction. We do have Cav now charging over, taking on the Wurttemberg line. And they're going to break as they cannot form square. And Wurttemberg just is not been able to catch their breath in this push that Prussia has made on them. They do have some Cav. You know, they could use all three Cav. Honestly, take one head on and have two flank. They could break 130 cuirassiers. Maybe not. Maybe not. This fight in the forest going very well for France still. Prussia fallen back a little bit. The Prussians are in the woods. Okay, I'm going to stop with all the Waterloo references. I apologize. I just can't help it. I really can't help it. God, that's such a good movie. But anyway, Prussia circling with... They have so much heavy cuirassier cav. It's just ridiculous. Now France is kind of in a pickle. They are fighting on two flanks. Prussia could maybe push up with one or two infantry here. Go for the building. These are grenadiers right here. You know, just push up here. They also have some dragoons that maybe could go for some artillery here. I guarantee you nothing's really probably watching them. This side is kind of distant. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Alright, so Prussia did take on France. France actually did what I said they maybe should do, which is just totally surround these cuirassiers, see if they can't just break him by morale. Now a general is running over here, so unfortunately it was good in action. Just Prussia had a little too much, and it's gonna break. Now Wurttemberg actually is forcing back the Prussians here. Wurttemberg has a good amount of infantry. Landwehr, of course, on this left flank, and now they're gonna fall back here. They still have their general, but Prussia just has the cav, and they are gonna start just encircling this French army. France being forced to pull back units here. I think they're gonna march out of these woods here that they held so long. And Prussia now victoriously is going to advance against France, and France is gonna have to reform once again here. Like I said, these grenadiers could totally go for this LOC. This is just gonna, they're just gonna shoot. They're just getting free kills. You know, maybe these guys will go in. I don't know. Free kills. France is able to finally hold this line, but you can see the artillery, I think, has just blasted these French to pieces, and now France is fighting back to back. Now this wall is going to be such a good defense here. These Prussians are going to have such a tough time. They're going to need their ally to push up here. Now we do have the Prussians now moving in with all their cav. They have decided now is the time. They all start fighting over here, it looks like, against more dragoons for France. These cuirassiers have been fighting for a long time, guys, so they could lose this side. So they need to be cautious. I mean, they are winning, but the tables could easily turn once again. France is not gone. And if France is not gone, you cannot underestimate them. We do have some grenadiers, maybe going against some musketeers. And actually, France is putting up a tough fight here. This cav now breaking against this 130 unit of cav, just broke, 86 men left. So France is starting to tip the scales once again. I mean, there is a Prussian army over here, but France is starting to put this together here. Really starting to put this together. Actually, this fight is going poorly. These two infantry going poorly. They need to shift over here and just take on Wurttemberg's grenadiers. Because that's just going to be, like I said, free kill. Oh, bayonet charge on the flank. Some grenadiers using the road to move fast. And now Prussia should run up here and try to cave the flank. The battle going back and forth so much. Prussia pushing over here. France still holding, but they're shifting over more infantry. Prussia pushing through the woods. France trying to hold here. They have cav maybe being more defensive. Prussia over here trying to fight and hold back Wurttemberg so they don't cave in on their rear as they're trying to finish off France. And this battle is just so good. Very excellent. Very hard fought. More grenadiers now starting to push. France is actually falling back now, trying to reform maybe with their ally over here. If they can form up maybe along here. I don't have my mouse on yet. I realized I still have not put my mouse back on. I promise I'm going to fix that on the next video. But they're going to form up maybe with this artillery here where their infantry is on this road maybe. Maybe this road where this infantry is, they can form up and use their cav to defend their flank. The only problem is Prussia is pushing still and outnumbering them now. So it just, Prussia is surrounding these French. And Wurttemberg is not able to help out at all. I mean, they're basically holding off a whole Prussian army. But they could have been so better used over here. I think these French cav need to get involved in this fight. They're just getting shelled. It's all or nothing. Your army is starting to break here against a Prussian push. And France is going to hold on desperately here now. These units actually still doing pretty well here. But they are going to fall back as this is looking bad. They're going to maybe form up on this slight brow of a hill. Maybe. But you can see the red is more prominent than the, or dominant than the blue. And I think they're just ignoring Wurttemberg in this house. They're like, you know what, whatever. We don't care. Just don't kill your cav, please. Don't kill him on the spikes. Oh, please notice the spikes. Oh, here we go. France is making some actions here. They are going in. They have figured they better just commit. But cuirassiers actually surrounding these dragoons. But here come some heavy cav for France. These guys could easily tip the scales. But the Prussian general could also tip the scales, so we will see. Oh, no, a cuirassier flanking charge. We have Marmont also shifting over to help out here. If they kill the general, they're going to break these cuirassiers easily, because it looks like he did inspire to make these guys hold. There's 64 of them, so they should hold. It actually looks like he's going to throw his general in to maybe help get a flank here, and this, guys, could decide the battle. And I think Prussia's going to win it. In that case, they're just going to cave in. But Prussian infantry are wavering, are breaking. But also the French center is collapsing as the Prussians are just pushing up here. And France is going to lose. They got their general out of there, thankfully. But France is going to lose their cav. Wurttemberg just fighting a retreating battle over here, back and forth. France is trying to hold. Props to them because they are trying their best to hold against Prussian attacks from all sides. Here we go, a bayonet charge. The Grenadiers going in. Cav going in as well. You see France is just struggling to just reform their lines and reform their lines.
Now they must break.
France over here is trying to hold. Here comes a heavy cav, and it is very apparent that Prussia brought way more cav than France did. Now, it may not be as good a quality, but in numbers, if you bring enough of it, it can matter. Definitely matter, just like with the infantry. So now, look at this push. Prussia just making them pay. The Prussians are in the woods. And they are pushing on this flank hard. Oh, look at that. You can see the French flag. And they are just going to go and charge the backs of the French here. And that is going to be probably the battle here, as Wurttemberg hopefully is just going to... Oh, what? Okay, good. For a second I thought that was French. It helped out the mini-map of Kingston, I know. Anyway, I'm not crazy. I don't usually talk to myself, I promise. So yeah, France has obviously fallen. Prussia is just pushing here. Just getting some cool shots. You know, you can't blame me. Just pushing on France here. Actually, France is holding on as for dear life, it looks like. Let's see if we can get the French flag and the... there's too much smoke now. Just hoping to get both flags here. Uh-oh. Alright, so the last hold, I do believe, is Wurttemberg. Now, hopefully, Wurttemberg is just gonna, you know, hold here and fight. At a certain point, you just gotta accept that, you know, you aren't gonna win. And just stand and fight, kill as many as you can, but don't delay the game. That's my take on NTW3. Now, everyone has a right to play as they want. Not saying that they're bad for not doing that, but, you know. Dang. Look at these guys fimming the farms. Fimming the farms. I think I'm just going to fast forward to the end because, quite honestly, I think this battle is definitely over here. And maybe we'll see Wurttemberg do a desperate stand here. As you can see, they are definitely doing that. They have their Landwehr sitting right here, maybe as bait, and the Prussians are gonna maybe engage both. Oh, their Cavs is gonna come in, and these guys can form square, but if they had an LLC, I would get them wanting to delay the game, but the only LLC is they have is a one-pointer, and maybe Prussia's gonna take it out. I think actually Prussia is taking, yeah, they're just surrounding it and shooting it to pieces. That's a really good Grenadier unit. Wurttemberg is going to get some good kills here.
Our men are running, sir.
They definitely are going to get some good kills here as they're making a hold. And but some cav, along with maybe some infantry to charge in as well, is going to force them to fall back. Bayonet charge going in for the square. That is how you defeat a square. Infantry and cav together. Force them into a square and it's over. They're toast. So this battle, good battle. My goodness, that was a really good battle. So like I said, I'll skip to the end, guys, because I think Wurttemberg's just gonna try to hold here with the general in two land where in the LOC, of course, is just being shot to pieces. They're at 92 men. So not long now. These poor guys getting shelled and everything. Like, they're just dying so fast here. Just a pile of dead. It's war crime to let guys with such gorgeous uniforms sit in a house and die. You know? You can't do that to Grenadier. Alright, real quick, guys. So what was kind of crazy was, you can see this blue over here. This was a Wurttemberg infantry that went over to their 4-pointer to try to win by LOC. But thankfully, the Prussians sent some infantry over to their 4-pointer and took it. As well as taking both the 1-pointers. So they're going to win by LOC victory. And it was a sneaky ploy. Wurttemberg almost won. I do believe this is, yeah, some infantry went over. That almost worked. If Prussia had not marked some infantry over to that 4-pointer, I mean, they have 11 minutes. They maybe could have still made it. That's why you have to always be careful with your LOCs. You can lose after winning, basically. And that's a totally acceptable way to win a NTW3 battle. If you just are sneakier than them. So I'm just gonna skip to the end, guys, because now they did realize, okay, you know, I did win, and at least they're marching out and they're just gonna go and sell their lives dearly to the Prussians. Alright, guys, so this one I believe was sent in by Roundstead, I do believe. It was Gio Roundstead. Yeah, one of these. So got some really good. You can see the amount of cuirassiers they brought and the kills they got with them. If we look here, let's look at the cav. So 2 cuirassiers, no, 3 cuirassiers. I don't know how to rank them so I can see. They brought 3 cuirassiers, I believe. Those heavies did their work for sure. So you can see the kills and losses here. That's about it, guys. I do love a coalition victory every once in a while. The Imperials, I feel like, win a lot. Now maybe that's not the case. But I try to keep it even so that both sides are happy for those who don't like the Imperials. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys stay safe. Have a great rest of your day. And I will catch you all in another video.